In order to kill my own son, I deliberately took him hiking mountain climbing. When we reached the most dangerous spot, I decided to act. I slowly reached out to touch my son's backpack, but I couldn't bring myself to push him off the cliff. Because he was the son I had raised for 18 years, my heart ached. After much internal struggle, I finally made up my mind. The reason I was so cruel to him, because I had secretly read my son's diary, which detailed various brutal murder methods. What was even more terrifying was that the targets were all his classmates. After seeing these horrific contents, we couldn't accept it. I had thought my son was just an introverted child with no friends, but it turned out he harbored a demon inside him. He was just very skilled at hiding it. We had never suspected him before. At this point, I was convinced that my son was a potential murderer, but wife still preferred to believe that he was just joking and wouldn't actually do anything terrible. The next day, the teacher called us to the school. My son had been subjected to bullying at school. He didn't resist or tell the teacher at the time, but instead posted a message on a social media platform. The message stated that he would dismember the person and feed them to dogs. Every word was filled with violence and malice. The homeroom teacher believed he had a serious mental illness and decided to have my son take a leave of absence from school. I agreed immediately upon hearing this. Upon returning home, I heard that the neighbor's dog had gone missing. My first thought was that my son had killed it, but my wife refuted this, saying that one couldn't make such assumptions without evidence. However, I had already decided that my son had become a monster and that it was only a matter of time before he committed a crime. At that moment, I saw a news report. 3 young people fell off a cliff while hiking. Only 2 bodies were found. So a wicked thought suddenly came to mind. When my son returned, I suggested we go hiking together the next day, but my son firmly refused. He didn't want to be alone with me. I told him that if he agreed, I wouldn't force him to see a psychologist anymore. Upon hearing this, son agreed immediately. The next day, I deliberately led my son down a mountain path. Then I suddenly pretended to take a phone call, luring my son to walk ahead of me. Once we reached the steep cliff, the protruding part was less than half a meter wide, and one had to rely on the strength of both hands to pass safely. Now, all I had to do was give him a gentle push, and he would lose his balance and fall off the cliff. But my son seemed to notice something was wrong and suddenly turned around.
What are you doing? Shouldn't I be the one asking you?